Everybody. This is the final presentation of our 60-day challenge, and I am so excited because I get to present my dear friend Lilly Gomez. She is phenomenal. As soon as I met her when I was doing Run Club at Lifetime Fitness, it was synergy. It was almost like, where have you come from? Where have you been? She is so refreshing, and you'll see exactly why when we have our conversation. Her topic is everything starts with a single breath, but as she'll talk, you'll understand why I was captivated by her. She brings a new, fresh face to yoga and its practice, and she has some awesome cookies. Okay, if you're on Instagram, a little cookie crazy, I need you to check it out. Phenomenal. I love her. Welcome, Lilly.
Thank you. I didn't know it was the last one. I'm so honored.
You are the last one. We are finishing.
The closer.
You're the closer. And I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank
because
I'm really honored to be here.
You walked me through every little, it's okay, it's gonna be fine.
Which is funny because you did that for me the other day.
That's the synergy that we have. And so your topic is everything starts with a single breath.
Right.
What does that mean?
You know, I think that is so important to focus on, not just in yoga, but in your everyday life. I just got off the call right now. I was really frustrated with, personal situation. You have to take a deep breath, and that kind of allows you to reset. So when you're trying to live more daily, you have to be motivated every single day. You have to be reminded every single day of what your goal is. And it starts with a breath. So as frustrated as you might get by hitting a plateau, or maybe your faith just kind of has you stuck somewhere, just remember to take a deep breath. And it's almost like an etch-a-sketch, right?
Right.
You get to restart and clear your mind. And when you do that, when you take that breath, as you inhale, you're taking in all the new, you're getting really inspired, you're absorbing everybody's positive energy. And as you exhale, because that's part of your breath, you're letting go of everything that doesn't serve you. And we talk about that in yoga, but I mean, it really serves you
everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
It serves you everywhere.
That's why I feel like if without your breath, you don't have anything.
Right. And being an asthmatic, and having limited breath.
Yeah.
And I mean, there was one point where my pulse ox, which is just your oxygen level in your blood, was at a 68.
Wow.
And having those short breaths and not being able to fill your lungs with capacity, people don't understand the gift that it is to actually breathe.
Right.
To actually take in a full amount of air that someone actually wish they could.
Yeah, it's life.
And it's life, and people I think they get so absorbed in their everyday, and we were joking because before we got started, I was she said not hyperventilating. Not hyperventilating, but to breathe. And I don't really believe people know how to breathe.
Yeah, it's we're born taking our first breath, right? But as you get older, you learn to develop the breath that works for you. In yoga, we use the Ujjayi breath, which I joke, it sounds like the Darth Vader, where it's a loud and vocal breath. But you have to really find the breath that works for you. And you don't necessarily need to wear yoga clothing or wear workout clothing. You can breathe anywhere. You're talking about breathing in the car. We're just talking about traffic and that it's not going anywhere. You can breathe right before a job interview. Take that deep breath, cleanse, and in that breath, you're able to just
compartmentalize?
Yes. That was a lot of syllables, so I just had to make sure. But you're able to sit there and outline what's important to you.
Okay.
And so when we do yoga, we say you don't need the fancy clothes, you don't need the yoga mat, you don't need to be in a yoga studio. You just need to find a space that works for you and your breath. That's it. It's not about the poses, although those are really pretty.
Right.
It's not about the music. If you just sit in a corner and you just breathe, that's yoga.
And it's so funny because breathing, even with no music, is music in itself.
I agree.
You know, because a lot of times we have the social media and we have the radio and you have the cable and you're streaming and you're all of this stuff, and to turn everything off and just breathe or just concentrate and focus on that one particular thing, I think we've strayed away from it.
Yeah, I think that's when ego kind of starts creeping in, and I'm guilty of that. I mean, you want to put on a really great class, so you find an awesome playlist, or you get the latest leggings or whatnot. But when you strip someone of everything, it really just comes down to your breath. And the really cool part about that is no one can take that away from you, and you take that with you everywhere you go. So it's not like, well, I can only breathe when I'm in yoga, or I can only breathe when I'm panicking, or I can only breathe. Are you kidding me? I mean, I was in church the other day and our pastor said, you are as close to God as you are to your next breath. And so I found that so inspiring, because we're talking about living more daily. It's not just yoga. We're talking spiritual life. We're talking about every aspect, professional. So when we talked about breath, I knew that had to be our topic. It had to be.
It has to be because God breathes life into us.
Yeah, exactly.
And He breathes. It's funny because I was looking at Will Smith. He did a One Strange Rock.
Yeah.
And the first series talks about oxygen.
Yeah.
And how everything is needed, what really is entailed for oxygen, and how fragile it really is.
Yeah.
But again, going back to inhaling and exhaling, that's a gift in itself.
Right.
So my question to you is, if I'm having a stressful day, I'm at my job, when I'll not say where it is, and I'm just frustrated, and I'm in my cubicle, and I'm just, where do I start to get my breath?
Well,
how do I get my breath?
I've never been stressed out at work, so I don't know.
Lies.
Okay, so I mean, center yourself first and foremost. So you said you're in your cubicle, right? Just make sure that you put your phone on silent, you put your away message on your computer or whatever, because your time connects with breath. So if you can't give your breath your undivided attention, you're not really breathing. Your mind is wandering. Your mind is somewhere else. Another, quirky yoga quote that we have is that your energy flows where your mind goes. Okay. And so here we are. You're at work. You've got a couple of people upsetting you, or maybe deadlines that you just haven't had a chance to, reach. So turn your mind off on that. Okay. Responsibly, of course, and then sit down and close your eyes. It can, and you're going to notice that your eyes flutter, because our instinct is to what's going on? Well, yeah, exactly. Like, who's going through my stuff? Right. Just close your eyes, just for a second, and, start to kind of soften your body. Start with your face. Oftentimes when you're upset, you clench your face, your jaw's all tight. Maybe your tongue is stuck to the roof of your mouth, right? I can notice that his brow is all furrowed, because, maybe he's stressed out about the interview. Maybe I was going to show up late or not show up at all. No, that couldn't be me. That could be you. No. And that's okay. You can smile. You can soften your face. Alrighty. Now, go ahead and soften your shoulders. Yeah. Look at that instantly. Look at that instantly. All right. Cool. So, when you're ready, take a deep inhale that starts at the base of your belly. Go ahead and let it bloom across your chest. Awesome. And as you exhale, go ahead and have your breath follow the opposite direction. So start with your chest. Nice. And then when you're ready, go ahead and squeeze all the air out of your belly, pulling your belly button up and in towards your spine. You're letting go of everything that doesn't serve you. Do that a couple times, and then when you're ready, open your eyes.
What were we talking about?
Nah, anyway. Well, the point though is you hear there's a lot of noise and a lot of chaos. And this is perfect, because in your office you're gonna have people talking do we even have fax machines anymore? You're gonna
Yeah,
hear
we do.
Fax machines
Yeah, we
and
do.
Xerox. I noticed like the 1980s people typing up.
Right.
You're gonna hear all kinds of stuff. That's perfectly normal because you're never gonna be able to isolate yourself into a bubble
Right.
where like, well, I have to go to a chapel and I have to breathe there, you know, where it's quiet, or I have to go to yoga studio because it's nice. There's gonna be noise and chaos all around you.
Right.
But the fact that you took those 10, 15 seconds to yourself and to your breath, maybe you didn't solve world hunger, right?
Right.
Obviously not.
Right.
But maybe that prevented you from getting on the keyboard and sending a really nasty email that you would have maybe if you hadn't had taken a second to
Right.
breathe, you know?
Right.
And you'd be surprised. Your coworker is gonna look over and go,
Right. What's going on?
what's going on? But then they're intrigued, right?
Right.
And so maybe you just inspired them to slow down and take a breath.
Right.
You know, it's natural.
And that's in concert with prayer.
I couldn't agree more.
That's in concert with prayer to, like, I don't need to go to a chapel, and I don't need to call my pastor, and I don't need to call my prayer partner,
No.
but I need to, if God is a breath away,
That's right.
He is right here. So as I'm breathing, I can connect with the Father.
Always.
And I can say, okay, you know what's on my mind.
Exactly.
You know what's going
Exactly.
on. I'm going to shut it all down.
Yep.
So you can, and I loved how you said, I'm inhaling His goodness and I'm exhaling all those things that don't benefit me.
Nope.
And the power of resetting yourself at any given time. Just don't close your eyes when you're driving, though. That's a little difficult.
Yeah.
Don't do that, please.
Although in our traffic, you probably have.
Yeah, because it is kind of slow. But you don't want to do that.
Yeah,
but
no, be safe.
getting to the point
Yeah,
of
be
understanding,
responsible, for sure.
of understanding and taking away. It's funny because my friend and also my cousin, they like water, so they go where that's their point of contact,
Yeah.
where they find their inspiration.
Their center.
Their center. I go to Starbucks. No, I'm kidding.
He does. No, you're only halfway kidding. But that's cool.
But that's cool. We're finding, because guess what? That refocuses that, because I give out so much. Even if it is a black coffee, it's sometimes I just go for the water.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm resetting.
That's right.
But you showed me so much just now that I don't even need to go to those places. You can just reset, re-equip, re-engage,
Yep.
reconnect body, mind, and spirit with just one breath. Because even that one breath took, I know I shouldn't have been counting, but I was counting 6.
You turn it off.
I was counting, okay, that's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I do understand.
And you know what? It's funny that you mentioned that because we're real. There's no guru here. I'm just somebody that wants to share what I have experienced. I can give you all the quotes in the universe. But what I wanted to make sure we talked about is being real. And the thing that you just touched on is so important. It does take us a long time to quiet the mind. It does wander. And you know what? Instead of saying, oh man, I was counting 1, 2, say, you know what? The mind is a powerful thing. Acknowledge that, you have life running through you, which means you're gonna have your mind wandering like acknowledge how powerful and how strong your mind is, and then bring your awareness back to that breath. So you're not punishing yourself for,
Right.
Why can't I sit still? Why can't I breathe? Why can't I meditate? That defeats the whole purpose, right? So acknowledge that, yeah, man, my mind wandered. Okay, bring it back.
And it's a behavior.
Yeah.
And it's just like muscle control. You don't have somebody running a marathon
Right.
and they've never walked. I mean,
Right.
they never ran.
Yeah.
It's like you build up
That's right.
to the point that, okay, maybe I can only do 5 or 6 deep breaths and then focus on, let me try to sit still for 3 minutes.
Sure.
And at least get to the point that your mind wanders. I tell a lot of my running clients, I said, you've gotten to the place in running when you forget running.
Yeah.
When you're running and you're like, oh my God, look, I never even noticed that tree was there.
I
Or
know.
look at that flower, or now you're so busy into the process that it's second nature.
Absolutely.
Now you can focus on other things.
Yep.
And so I have homework that I have to do now. I actually have to learn how to breathe.
Well, and you touched on something really cool too, running. Running is an awesome opportunity because you're alone with your thoughts. And so, yeah, don't close your eyes, right? So you can breathe while your eyes are fully open,
Right.
but you can draw the awareness within, even while you're running. You know, you're like, especially if you have headphones on, try running with headphones and no music. You can hear your breath. And you can hear when your breath is very labored, and obviously you need to pull back a little bit, or maybe you're not breathing strong enough. So, hey, maybe pick up the pace a little bit. So, yeah, for me, it all starts with the breath.
Everything starts with the breath. Breathe. So, last question. Ta-da! What chapter, book did affect you, or moved you, or inspired you when it came to the book?
Yeah, I have to be completely honest with you because I feel a lot of people can relate. I'm on this journey with you, with so many other people, and the number one thing that affects me is life. Okay, I have 3 kids. I run a very successful business. I still teach yoga, and I have a wonderful husband. And so I'm trying to think of, okay, well, where do I fit in all that? And we've talked about this before. And I feel like many people can relate. And so when we were looking at the book, because I got to see it as it was coming together.
I was writing just the beginning of everything, and we didn't know how to start it, lay it out, what to do. She was there at its inception.
I was really fortunate to see it come together, and it meant a lot because I could relate. If you go through the book, you'll notice that you might get to chapter 2, chapter 3, day 1, whatever it is that you get, and you start journaling, and then for whatever reason life gets in your way. You know, you start a new job, or your diet habits, your eating habits start to slip, and then you say, I just can't do this right now, and you put it down. I've done that. I have to be quite honest with you. I'm like, this is for people who have a goal and who have a goal-driven life, and that's not me right now, and I just want to watch the Food Network, and I just want to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you start to gain 5 pounds, or and I've picked it up again. You know, I start to pray, and I talk to you about it, and I'm like, I just don't know where to start. And Coach Greg has this way of just looking at you, because I'm like, I want answers and I want quick fixes like a lot of people do, and he's not going to give it to you. He's going to tell you to go back and pray and read. And guess what? There I am, even though it's been how long since the book has been out, and I'm back at day 1. But if you notice, and maybe you had the intention, I don't know, I didn't get to talk to you about this. I don't ever feel bad that I'm back at day 1. I don't, because I learned something the first time around that I didn't know was going to benefit me the second time around. And that empowers me, just like your breath. So yeah, the day 1, we start all over again. We start praying, we start journaling again. We start surrounding ourselves with people who have the best of intentions and the best resources. He's not going to tell me to drink cantaloupe juice for 3 days and then go sit in the sauna, and then, you're not going to tell me that.
Right.
And that's not what this book is about. It's about living more daily. So I think that's why it's so approachable. I don't know if that's the word. And I've seen the other presenters, and they all talk about it is relatable. And it transcends. I mean, there's so many wellness books out there, but there aren't any wellness guides that sync up with your spiritual life.
Amen.
And that's important, because you're gonna lose weight, you're gonna gain weight, you're gonna lose friends, you're gonna gain friends, you're gonna struggle with your breath, you're gonna do this, but God will remain constant.
God will remain constant.
No matter where you are, you might stop going to church, or you might stop praying, or, whatever. The really cool part is that, like the book, your relationship with God, you can go back and start at day 1. And it's not something that he's going to punish you or you're going to feel bad about. So when I start back at day 1, which I have to be honest, I've started at day 1 at least 3 times, there's no shame, because I know that I'm worth investing in. And I can't begin to thank you enough for empowering us. Yeah, my breath is the beginning, but everyone needs help. Yoga is the journey of the self they talk about, but you don't get there by yourself.
Amen.
And so you can live more daily. You're not going to live more daily on your own.
No, you can't. And that's why it was so important for these presentations that every person that I presented imparted, inspired, motivated, kick-started, jump-started me. Like, I would never be here without each and every one of my presenters. And the cool thing about it is we're all interrelated. And it's almost like the body of Christ.
Yeah.
You know, everybody has their own gift and everybody has their own way, and being able to, I don't know everything, but I do know who makes some good cookies. I do.
I was gonna bring it back. Well, and that's a good point, because when we were talking about this, and I'm again super transparent, super real. Y'all can edit it out later if you want. It's like, what do I have to contribute? You know what? Here we are on this wellness journey. Obviously, that means, like, you know, no sugar, no carb. It doesn't mean no sugar, no carbs. You know, it just. I was like, I make cookies. I don't understand how that fits into the bigger picture, but. You know, I think it goes way beyond that. It goes beyond, well, coming back to your breath, you know, the cookies were, they are divine inspiration. You know, it was something that just came about, you know, through my kids. And my breath has gotten me through that. As an entrepreneur, I don't know a lot of the answers to the questions that pop up on a daily basis, but I can panic, I can freak out, and I can give up, or I can come back to my breath and start making a couple calls and asking friends and family who are entrepreneurs, hey, you know, maybe you've encountered an issue like this. Can you tell me? And again, bringing it back to the book, that's what we are. We're this awesome network. And we bring our own talents, our individual talents, and we are much stronger. We're bigger, a bigger entity together. And it's just amazing that then I realized why I was here, because otherwise I was like, well, I don't know. I'm just like everybody else. And maybe that's what you can relate to, is that I'm just your average Joe.
You're just your average Joe doing supernatural stuff. This, I told you, this is why I love Lilly Gomez. You have to check her out. She is phenomenal. She is great. She's my sister.
We are great.
We are great. A little cookie crazy Instagram. I'm telling you, how did she put all this stuff on the cookie? And they're great.
We did the book too.
We did the book.
We did the book.
And it's just phenomenal. Check her out. She's awesome, and I'm so pleased and grateful to call her friend. And I want to thank each and every one of my presenters that already presented. I want to thank each and every participant in the 60-day challenge. Remember, these will be up here. If you need to go back and revisit something, definitely go revisit. If you have questions, everybody is willing to share their knowledge and help you. So the only person that's stopping you from growing is you. So you're gonna have to get out there and continue to live more daily. I wanna thank each and every one of you, and take care as always.